Morning, learners. Good to see you again. You're welcome to our class this morning. First of all, I will tell you all Happy New Month. Yes, with Mrs. Johnson in our mathematics class today, we will be looking at volume of solid shapes. And to be precise, we will look at cubes. What then are solid shapes? Remember we did plane shapes some time back. We said plane shapes are shapes that what? Do not have depth in them. But now solid shapes are objects that have what? Depth in them. And we also call solid shapes as what? Three-dimensional shapes. What are the examples? Examples of solid shapes are cube and what? Cuboid. But our emphasis today will be looking at cubes. So what is a cube? Some of the properties of a cube are: a cube has 6 equal faces, a cube has 8 corners, and a cube has 12 sides. But notwithstanding, our focus again is on the volume of a cube. Then another thing you need to know: what are the examples of shapes that are cubes? Examples of shapes that are cubes are ice cube, that's sugar cubes, the mango cubes like your star mango, and so on and so forth, that is etc. Then what now is the formula for the cube? The formula for the volume of a cube is L times L times L, making L raised to power 3. If you remember previously when we did indices. Now this is the shape of a cube. Our focus again is on the volume of a cube. Let's take the examples. Example 1 says, calculate the volume of a cube whose length is 2 meters. What now is the length? We have this shape here. You can see the length. I told you that a cube has 6 equal faces, 8 corners, 12 sides. Now looking at this, I can tell you now that the length is 2 from the question. The volume of the cube, V, is going to be L times L times L. That means L cube, which if I substitute the length to be 2 meters, therefore I have the volume to be 2m times 2m times 2m. Then referring back to your indices, you remember? Good. 2 times 2 is what? 4. 4 times 2 gives you 8. Now, coming back to m times m gives you m square. M square again times m gives you m cube. That means m raised to power 3. Therefore, our volume now of this cube is now 8 meters cube. Good. Now look at example 2. Example 2 says, find the volume of a shape with sides 3 centimeter each. Now, what are we talking about? What we are saying now is that the cube has the side as 3 centimeters, and at this junction, the first thing you know to do is to lay your emphasis. Your length is what? 3 centimeters. The volume of the cube is L times L times L, which also is the formula. Now, substituting that, we now have it as 3 centimeters times 3 centimeters times 3 centimeters, making 27 centimeters cube, which is, how do I get 27? Remember from indices, 3 times 3 is 9. 9 times 3 gives you 27. So that means my volume, the volume of the cube, is 27 centimeters cube. If I say my answer is 27 centimeters, I am wrong if I don't put my cube. Okay? So you must always put the cube. Now look at example 3. Example 3 says, what is the volume of a cube whose side is 5 meters? This point, you have to state the volume formula first. Volume is equal to L times L times L. And the L here, which is the length, is what? 5 meters. So if I bring in that parameters and substitute, I have the volume to be equal to 5m times 5m times 5m. What is that? How do we get that solved? 5 times 5 gives me what? 25, right? Now let's go. 25 times 5 again. Remember your multiplication. 5 times 5 is 25. So I have 5 remainder 2. I put the 2 here. 5 now times 2 gives me 10. 10 plus 2, that's 12. So now I have 5 times 5 times 5, which is 5 times 5, 25. 25 times 5 is what? 125. But don't forget, without your unit, which is m times m, that's m square. M square again times m, that's m cube. Okay, from your borrowed idea of indices. So our volume here now is 125 meters cube. Very good. We don't have much, as it is today being the first day of the month. We have other things to do. So our assignment today will just be just two. Number one says, what is the volume of a cube whose side is 4 centimeters? And 2 says, calculate the volume of a cube whose length is 7 meters. So now solve and get our answers submitted as soon as possible. Thank you.